Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is G. You're watching Allastrology, and we're going to talk about June. There's a lot of going on because guess what? Gemini, this is for you. We have a full moon that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a new moon. We're going to talk about Jupiter. You see how the J's are the J sounds? Jupiter. And it's about love, it's about money, it's about values, it's about significant one-on-one relationships, and it's about yourself. That's what this month is about in a nutshell. The short version of this month. That's it. Now, what does all this mean? Well, we got to look at some of the details to understand what this means, like specifically for you. Okay. So it begins with the very front end of the month. There's a full moon, all right, but before we talk about that full moon, because anyway, I need to talk about Jupiter. Jupiter rules Sagittarius energy. Jupiter is beneficial, it's good. It usually is considered the greater benefic. So if it comes by in your chart, sits in a certain location, it's usually like an abundance of something is coming. Right. So where is this going to be sitting in Gemini's chart? Well, because it's in the sign of Taurus, this is in your 12th house. So in your 12th house, Taurus is about, think about this, Venus, all things Venus, desires, creature comforts, money, love, sensuality, right? Venus energy. How can I receive? Bring it to me, baby, right? Smells, taste, touch, right? What I can see, what I can hear. And then there's even more senses, right? There's even more senses, things that we don't really even have words for. But if it's in your 12th, these are things that are hidden and in your subconscious. So it can be hidden love, hidden money, hidden values. And these can be values that include things about who you are. So there might be things about yourself where your own self-worth and self-love is hidden from you because it's in your 12th house. And that is the placement of the hidden. It's also called your subconscious, right? For all of us, the 12th house is our subconscious. So usually when we spend some time alone, usually when we're maybe walking in nature, or some people meditate or pray, usually when we have that quiet time, that is when the subconscious kind of creeps up to the surface, and kind of when, they kind of use that saying, listen to the voice of the silence, because there's actually sound there in the silence. There's something there when we're talking about self, right? And if it's Venus, it's my love and my self-worth. It's love as in who I love as well. And we know that when we talk about love, how we feel about ourselves has everything to do with what sort of a partner we're going to attract, or what sort of love language that we attract, right? The way somebody shows another person love, it starts with, like, the first step is within here. It's within ourselves. So however we show ourselves love, do we take care of ourselves? Do we support ourselves and nurture ourselves? Do we lift ourselves up when we're not feeling good, when we're feeling down? Do we, the self-talk that we all do? We all do it. And many times, a lot of that self-talk, we aren't even aware of it because we've been doing it for so long. It's a real thing. We've been doing it for so long. Many times we catch ourselves even repeating stuff we heard when we were kids. And if that was negative shit, then there's a possibility that you're doing that with yourself, right? That you're not embracing who you are because you don't see your own treasures and your own values. You don't recognize what you bring to the table. You might be still discovering that. It's a possibility. The point is being in that 12th house, there's just something that's subconscious, right? And because, well, this is a big deal because it's Jupiter going there. So what Jupiter will likely do is it will likely expand upon all those words I just used, the values of love and money. Jupiter will expand upon it. So then all of a sudden, we may better understand what our self-worth is. So this is kind of a cool thing because Jupiter is going to be here for about 12 to 14 months. Yeah. It's not just one quick thing because it's at the beginning of the month of June. No, it's in the sign of Taurus for like 14 months. So Taurus and Jupiter together, here's the thing. Taurus's ruler is Venus, and that's feminine energy. Jupiter is masculine energy. And so normally when we're talking about people getting married, if you're someone looking for male energy, then Jupiter is your guy. Jupiter is that person. It's masculine energy. It's Jupiter. We always talk about Mars, but Mars is really someone we just play around with. It's not Jupiter. Jupiter is someone who's wiser. Remember, Mars is like a little brother. That's someone you're really just playing with, and it's more about like romance and just having a good time. You need someone a little bit of more substance for marriage, right? For long term and quality. And that's important to your Taurus energy. Quality, right? Because anybody can find, you know, what's that saying? I don't know. I can't think of it right now. My head's all into the astrology, but there's just some saying about anybody can a quick roll around in the whatevers. I don't know what it is, but you know, if yeah, hell, you can just pay for that, right? But if you want someone that is worthy, someone you can trust, someone that's loyal, loyalty, that is a word that is associated with Taurus that we don't talk about enough. I know I don't talk about it enough, and I should, but loyalty is what Taurus demands. Okay. So having Jupiter there, Jupiter's probably going to show you some things about that. And it will be about yourself and your own self worth, but also, is your partner that person? Or it'll let you clearly see and have a greater understanding of what you value in a partner. Like, this is what my partner needs to be like, and start marking off those boxes because Jupiter's there. And it's like it's going to expand upon your values. It's going to expand upon your understanding of your values too, because Jupiter is very wise, right? Jupiter is wise. It's the teacher. It can be all about exploring and seeking, going on a little adventure and traveling, right? In Taurus energy, it can be most beneficial. Now, the other thing is that it's going to meet up with the North Node, and that's what really happens at the beginning of this month. Okay, so Jupiter is a running theme for this month and for the next 14 for you. All right, 12th house, dreams. Write down your dreams. Your dreams may bring you some information because Jupiter does really well in the 12th house. So you may be getting some information in your dreams. If Jupiter's bringing them in your sleep, right? Pay attention, write some things down. Jupiter is known to be a prophet, can give you the visions of what's going on, things for the future. Pay attention, Gemini, to your 12th house and to your dreams. Okay, so you can get the real deal on what's going on. Now, that was me talking a whole lot because in the beginning of the month, right at the 3rd, June 3rd, we have a full moon. And this is a full moon in Sagittarius energy. And this is at the opposite of you. Sagittarius is here in your 7th house. This is significant one on one relationships, your partnerships, business partnerships, marriage, significant one on one relationships. Okay. It's a full moon. That's a release. That's a closure. That's an ending. That's like, okay, we're done. And it's a belief about that relationship. Is it the worthwhile relationship? So you see how this is going to be a big deal because you're going to have Jupiter and Taurus in your 12th. So there's something there about the values, something there about the love factor, something there about the worthiness and about the loyalty. Loyalty will be a big deal. And I know this is hard. I know this is hard for this placement because typically when anyone has Sag in that 7th, Sag is about freedom. Remember that? So you've got a partner who's going to want freedom. Okay. Think about that. How do you commit to a partner that wants freedom? Okay. Now, the release and the let go may simply be something like, I no longer am into those type of people, right? Because when you meet Sagittarius people who have a lot of Jupiter, there's something about that quality that you enjoy because they can be funny, they can be adventurous, they can seem very confident, and you can almost feel like, wow, this person's going places, like they know their shit, right? And so it could be very appealing. All right. So something is ending and the degrees are going to matter for you. The degrees of this full moon, 13 degrees. So you're going to look for the degrees. You might have a planet there. This might be your descendant for all I know, or you may have nothing, right? But we're going to give it a 2-degree orb. So that's going to be like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 degrees of Sagittarius energy. I don't know why this weird light thing is happening. So 15 degrees of Sag, 15-degree full moon, endings and releases, right? If it's in your 7th house and it's a commitment, think also about how Sagittarius energy can be like spiritual and mystical and God and religion and my philosophy on life. Yes, freedom, judicial systems too. And then what else? Exaggerations. That's the thing. Exaggerations and unconscious judgments. There may be things because it might not actually be a partner at all. It might be your belief about a partner. Some people will pass up a certain person that they might consider as a partner because they may have certain beliefs that, oh, that person doesn't fit the bill because of this. And so it might be, it might not even be a rational judgment because the sign of Jupiter, because it knows how wise it is, it tends to be to have unconscious judgments on others, right? So it is a possibility. It could be as small as that, or it could be as big as somebody saying, we're done. It could be that too. So let's move on to new, bigger, and better things because we have a new moon, and the new moon is happening in your sign. This is a new moon in Gemini. Yeah, you have a new moon happening in your first house. So this is about your body and your appearance. It is about your location too. It's a new moon. So think of the way I think and talk and communicate, the way I radiate. That's Gemini energy. Gemini is a good salesperson normally. They can talk and they typically may even talk with their hands. That's Gemini energy. So we think of social media and the platforms. If it's a new beginning, are you considering going on a social platform that you haven't been on? Maybe blogging or vlogging. I don't think anybody blogs anymore, but I could be totally wrong because I'm not into all that. I don't know. But there's something about the way you look that's going to change. And if it's Gemini, Gemini likes to learn. It also likes to teach. It definitely likes to speak. It's all about coworkers and next door neighbors and being at the market and going shopping. Not so much shopping to be the one making the purchases necessarily, but it wants to be busy. It is busy. It's like everywhere you go, you talk to all the merchants. You know each person. You know them by name because this is Mercury. Mercury rules this new moon, which makes this a powerful new moon for you. You've got Mercury in your first house. Mercury rules you. So it's like for some of you, physical, when we think about the first house, the hands, the wrists, the forearms. That's all that Gemini stuff. A lot of people say that Gemini is also the lungs. And so our breathing capacity, some sort of a new beginning. Look at the degrees. The degrees are 2643. So that's 27 degrees. We'll do 2-degree orb, same thing. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 in Gemini. You're looking either for a house cuspline or a planet. And if you have multiple things, right, rammed together, that would be called a stellium, Stellium. I can't spell anymore. Stellium, a stellium. It's just a bunch of planets that are all conjunct, more than 2, right? So it's like 3 or more planets. We would call that a stellium. And if that's the case, then the orb would be bigger because the more planets you have together, the bigger the radiation is. Make sense? And whatever those planets are will give you more details as to how this new beginning is for you and what it is you're beginning, what it is about the way you look that's changing. A lot of people, maybe it's simply something like this. Gemini, the teacher. Gemini, I'm reading a book. What does everybody say? Oh, they look smart because they got glasses on. They can be dumb as nails, right? But if they got glasses on, suddenly they look so much smarter. It could be that too. Are you getting glasses? Are you becoming a teacher or looking like a teacher? What does a teacher look like? Nowadays, I don't know, but it's youthful energy too. It's youthful. So it can be like being at school, being at a place of learning, because there's lots of different places of learning, online even, right? Because I want to learn something. Definitely doing all that though. I can think of a specific Gemini has had lots of issues with all of this, lots of issues with all of this. But there's, other things in that person's chart that explain that. So it's not always going to be something that's like this, where it's like, hey, I got a problem, right? Or some sort of a thing that, I think she was in a cast. I don't even know if she might even still be in a cast for all I know. I'm not sure. But something with your appearance. So if it's something with the appearance for some of you, unfortunately, maybe, because what would make the hands and the arms stand out? If you meet somebody and if they have a cast on, right? If they have a brace or of some sort, right? A cast, a brace, something on the hands even. Again, not a thing if you don't have something at those matching degrees, but a new beginning all the same. Okay, Gemini. So keep in mind your chart. Keep in mind, if you have a question, you just comment below and I will help you out however I can. But you need to make sure you're commenting below the video that you've watched. I can't, this is the only way I can keep track of who commented first and what their question is about. It relates to the video that they just saw. So I hope this video helps you for your June 2023. And remember, you're having a new moon in your third house of the thoughts. And having a new moon in the third house of my thoughts means you can manifest what you want for your future. Hope this helps, Gemini. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.